A story as old as time itself. Margot's Got Money Troubles centres around Elle Fanning's character, Margot, who is a college student studying English literature and falls in love with her professor and gets pregnant. It's a great show and does deal with some complicated conversations surrounding pregnancy, whereas this show mainly deals with the experience of pregnancy and experience of being a single mother, as well as what lengths mothers would do to provide for their families, and does not shove the subject matter down our throats and make it political in any way, and makes it more entertaining and melds with the story with some eccentric and quirky characters thrown in the mix. This is a really interesting and fun show, which is only between 30 and 40 minutes long per episode, and you can have this series done in a day. So the story of Margot's Got Money Troubles centres around Elle Fanning's character Margot, who is a product of a single child family whose parents are a pro wrestling family whose father goes off and wrestles during the day whilst mum comes and looks after Margot, and what she does to keep herself occupied is tell stories, playing with her toys and dolls and make up characters and storylines and things like that. And it's to no surprise that as she's grown older, she becomes infatuated with English literature and storytelling and becomes a writer herself. And to the point where, as an adult, she is now in college and she is studying English literature to become a writer and try and get her stories published out into the world. And this is where she encounters her professor. They strike up a relationship, and then she gets the news that she is pregnant. And the story essentially is her having to deal with the consequences of her decisions that she's made through this time, and how she deals with them, and how she comes and grows as a person from the experience. And then she has the baby. Then she tries to get help from her family, from her wrestling father and her mother as well, played by Michelle Pfeiffer and Nick Offerman. And so let me start by saying I am probably not really the demographic for this Apple TV show, Margot's Got Money Troubles, but I did thoroughly enjoy it so far. I've watched a couple of episodes and the performances are really strong from all the actors. So Elle Fanning stars as Margot, and she is embodying the character of the mother and young single mother in college and having to sort of deal with these complicated issues, and she does it really, really well. Her performance is really, really strong. Also, great performances from Michelle Pfeiffer as the reluctant mother to Elle Fanning's character Margot, who is almost traumatized from the experience of her own pregnancy, that she is sort of trying to stay back and not get too involved. But there's a great heartwarming moment towards the end of the second episode where they reconcile their differences, and she starts becoming sort of more on board with her decision to keep the baby and to help out where she can. Nick Offerman's character of Jinx the wrestler, he is actually retired from wrestling, and is a strong performance from him from the scenes that we've seen, because it seems like he is like in some sort of growth and recovery himself, and is trying to make amends by returning to his daughter's life to help out with the baby. So we're so used to seeing Nick Offerman as the deadpan comedian from shows like Parks and Rec, for example, and here he has some strong dramatic gravitas with the character he's portraying, and is very, very different in this and completely transformed. I barely recognised him in this. I had to take a little look and be like, oh wait, that's Nick Offerman, and he is really, really good in this. And so the characters are all very different and quirky in their own way. For example, there's great juxtaposition between Cheyenne, Michelle Pfeiffer's character's partners. For example, Nick Offerman, Jinx, like I said earlier, is a former pro wrestler, and now her current partner is a religious person who is very focused on religion and is true to his faith, and completely the opposite to Nick Offerman's character. And that creates a great juxtaposition between two. And I'm sure as the episodes go on, there's going to be some conflict there between the two of them for their different beliefs and their different character dynamics, which will create great tension, I think. Also, I might add that in this show, they really don't paint a pretty picture when it comes to being a single mother. They don't tiptoe around it. They really don't try and sugarcoat it in any way, shape, or form. It is hard. It is a tough, tough life, and I have immense respect. And so they really sort of show warts and all of like the adversaries that single mothers have to go through to try and provide care for their children, and the extreme lengths that I have to go to work multiple jobs and to try and make ends meet. And it's all depicted in this show. And also how the decisions they've made impact their circle of friends as well. Like the roommates that she has and lives with in college really despise her because of that. And so they want no association with her anymore because they feel like it's interrupting and disrupting their own lives. And so it really paints a sort of tough picture of what it's like, and has opened my eyes a little bit. So, but otherwise, it is really good fun to see these different types of characters interacting. And it is written by David E. Kelley, who has done some great work recently, who did Nine Perfect Strangers and Big Little Lies, and has come from a great television background and has done some good work recently. And so it's got some great people behind the show, and I'm looking forward to see what happens next. And I think I'm going to follow this one through and watch it all the way to the end. And again, it's on Apple TV Plus, and at the moment they are doing some good, thought-provoking and intelligent TV shows at the minute. For example, I'm really enjoying For All Mankind, and I need to get back into watching Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, and also they've got Hijack Season 2, which I need to catch up on. But they are doing some good stuff lately. So check this one out. It's a little bit different. And yeah, like I say, I'm not really their target demographic for this one, but give it a shot. And like I say, it's 30 to 40 minutes long per episode, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and I shall see you in the next video.